Hey guys, welcome to SC Custom Designs. We are out in the Poly booth, and I wanted to show you one of my newest creations. It's original, but I'm sure you've seen these guys before. But what may surprise you about this is there's two products in one. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Welcome again to SC Custom Designs, where me, myself, and I are working in the poly shed. It's only 91 degrees, and the humidity is a lot lower than it was yesterday. These are the 10 degree dovetail joints units that we'll be selling adding to our show. Actually, it's coming up next week at Rotterdam Junction, New York. So we're pretty excited about that. All right, I'm gonna hop down. I have to do a little improvising. When I'm in the wood shop, I'm in the poly shed. Not sure what that was. Hey, check this out too, guys. This was a little, this actually was the sacrificial piece that I was using to figure out these 10 degree dovetails. We turn it this way, you'll see what I mean. And so it actually turned out that it looks like it's a decoration for the tree or something like this. But I thought I would use it as a showpiece and just to explain to my customers that there's options out there when it comes to joinery. So let's have a look at this. I'm going to have a lot of faith that the camera's picking up on this. So this is your classic dovetail box. Okay, I'm going to snap out of it. I just took a quick nap. This, after my day job, this is a bandsaw box. Okay. And so look at this really cool shape. Watch what happens. Take that out, and now we have very, very interesting character, just like me, my friends. This here that I took out turns into a stand for which you can put your phone. Okay, so that actually just turned out to be like one of those things I stumbled across as I was picking up the pieces from the floor, cutting out this unit. I was about to throw this away with the other pieces, and I set it down like that. Actually, I had to cut some pieces off of it. This piece off. Like, oh my Lord, look at that. So that was my discovery. That was pretty awesome, my friends. So we're out here in the poly shed. Hey, by the way, if you like the videos that you see, the content, and so on and so forth, please consider subscribing to our channel here at SC Custom Designs. And by all means, leave your comments. So now I have to decide, and we'll get back to you on the comments. I highly recommend that you get gloves like this. I have vinyl gloves that are dime a dozen, really. And boy, does that save on your hands. And definitely, if you haven't considered making a poly shed, a poly stain shed, please do that, because the VOCs are very bad to have in your, not only in your lungs, but in your house. You know, you don't want that in your house. My wife is very quick to tell me, and rightfully so, get the hose at the house. So this, I don't know that I really did an episode on the poly shed from beginning to end. So now I'm trying to decide what color would look really awesome with this this unit. So I got golden oak at hand here. I got red oak. Okay, and I have this really dark stain, which is what this is, Jacobine. So I don't know. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to do cherry. Not sure why, but I am. So be sure to shake up your stain and get that pigment all mixed up. I recently was using all of this thing, so it's pretty much been shaken and stirred, literally the day before. And what I use to stain my units is basically Scott paper towels. Okay, so the trick with staining is that you got to do it fast. You can't drip on your work. If you drip on your work, you got to see that drip forever, or at least until you go ahead and sand it out or whatever. So what you want to do is just plan like this. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So you can see what I'm doing here. There's nowhere for that stain to drip but down. In other words, not onto itself. Okay, and that's what you need to do. So that's what we're doing. And you can learn this by trial and error, or just take my word for it if you've never stained before. So here we go. This is very rewarding because it's happening very fast for me. All right, so I find, you guys tell me, chime in on the comments. What's the most tedious thing in the project? For me, there's the most tedious, and then there's the most stressful. Stressful for me is actually glue up, like gluing up this thing, for example, because, you know, in order to do that magic with the bandsaw boxes, you're going to have to go in entry point somewhere, hopefully with the grain, right? And you're going to find that you got to exit, and you can go every other area like this to get in. Whatever, you can look up my episodes on bandsaw boxes. Lord knows I got a lot of them. But this here is the most unique one, I want to say. Yesterday I was working on this one. It was quite boring, the original shape, to me. And I'm like, I went to do one thing, and on the unit, and I ended up saying, well, what would happen if I do this, and what would happen if I do that? And that's the wonderful thing about, well, first of all, owning your own shop, right? Owning your own shop, and two, having a little bit of ADD like I do. What do I do now? What do I do now? Just always wanting to change things up. So it is a challenge for me to stay the course and to work through some of the really tedious processes of woodworking, you know. So again, for me, some of the most stressful things is glue up time, because you got to make sure things aren't sliding around, they are exactly where you intend them to be, so on and so forth. And then getting the glue off. You want to make sure you get that glue off immediately, if not sooner. Okay. So when I'm putting the stain on, I want to make sure that my end grain is getting a lot of stain, because it's been very, very thirsty. It's been cut from the trees and dry, and then intentionally dried out, you know, and so on and so forth. So I look to see where it's drinking the stain up, unless you like that effect where it's lighter in one area and more than the other. So I'm going to let this guy soak in a little bit more, so the dangers of sagging and that sort of thing occurring is not so big. So now we want to be very careful. Once again, you want to stain in the downward area, so it's not the stain will drip onto the project. Okay, so you see, it can be very, very tricky. I have pretty much not ruined, but lost a lot of time where I had to go and fix droops and sags and all this sort of thing. So, yeah, there you go. So I'm just kind of filling in time whenever I'm in the poly booth and doing a video. I have time to talk about some things. I really need to move right along doing this, so hopefully, you know, we'll be done shortly. Okay, so really at the end of the day, it's amazing. So you start off being very, very, very careful. Then you just learn the best thing to do is just to move right along with your staining. So that's what you do. That's what you end up doing. Okay, so one way you can try to reduce that drip, get rid of that drip, is to put lots of stain on that area immediately and almost pretend you're wiping it with soap, so to speak. Okay, so that sort of thing. Oops, I dropped my towel right in there. Let's just squeeze that out now. Alright, so hopefully you're enjoying this. Please, by all means, again, leave your comments, questions, so on and so forth. I love to get back to you folks. who might be inquiring about a thing. Some of you guys are really, really shy, guys and gals, about commenting, and I would say by now, if you've watched a few of my videos, you know that I don't look for absolute perfection. I actually am okay learning with you on a tool. I mean, I've been around tools, woodworking tools, for a while. I started out in Israel in 1978. That's where I actually took woodshop. Was in Eretz Israel, and I learned how to speak Hebrew there. It was really an awesome experience for me. So, all right, here we go. I also want to do this, and I just need to do that real quick as well. I noticed when I first picked it up, there was a fingerprint, and I need to make sure that at the end of the day, there's no fingerprint there. Okay, so this is a lot of fun. This type of thing is not stressful, but when you got a stain, a really large project, that's when it can become very, very tedious. Okay, so what you want to do when you're staining is do a quick look-sees, all right, like this. Just make sure everything is definitely covered. If I had a nickel for times I noticed, whoops. Oh, here's another thing. When you're gluing up, like, see, this is critical in the front. When you're gluing up, make sure you get all that glue off. And if you watch me long enough, you know one of my tricks is to take the unit to the sink and spray it with a lot of water, okay? So here's what you're going to do. You're going to take these gloves off, you're going to discard them, and you're going to put a fresh pair on, because you don't want to get, you don't want all that stain on the gloves when you start cleaning up the stain and getting rid of the excess, okay? So, yeah. This is basically knotty pine, joined up wood that otherwise I would have thrown away, and it got repurposed. That's the beautiful thing of making bandsaw boxes. You can make them out of your scrap wood, so on and so forth. Okay, make sure you seal up your can. Okay, now I'm going to take two pieces, well, two lengths like this, and then a single length. And this one is going to be to hold the piece that I'm hold the piece at some point, and then as I'm near the end, wiping this stuff off. Okay, so just make sure you get most of that out of there. Okay, and this guy will set up. Over in summertime, it's 82 degrees or something like this, and with humidity levels a little bit better than what they were. I have a humidity meter in my wood shop, and that humidity level was up to about 59 or 63. I don't know. It was pretty high in the wood shop. And that's important to note that. You want to watch, especially in the winter time when it's really dry. Little jobs like this where the wood is not so thick, and you cut the pieces out and you're thinking, I'm going to call it a day, and I'm going to go ahead, come back tomorrow, and I'll pick up tomorrow. And you only to come back and find that your pieces of wood are all warped. Okay? They're all warped. So here's where that second piece comes in. I'm going to take that piece to hold on to this piece, okay? Then I'm going to re-wipe one more time, okay? Now this is your finished piece. You don't want this to be compromised. Like, whoops, I didn't see that before. So, you know, if you do that a few times, you learn your lesson. And there you go. So we'll just set this piece down there. This has been quite enjoyable. I hope you enjoyed this, I say short video. I rarely do a short video. But I'm not even sure if I put a video out. I do 1 video to 2 videos a week. I've been preparing for a Rotterdam Junction. Look that up, please. Rotterdam Junction, New York. The Mabee Farm, M-A-B-E-E Farm. A lot of crafters will be there this weekend, this Saturday, coming up. Okay? And on the form it says, if you show up at our craft show, even though you paid in advance and we accepted you, and you are not you do not make those things yourself, you know, and you show that skill set, then you will be rejected. They'll just send you on your way. So I like that. That means that it's going to be pretty genuine. All right, so there we go. Let's take you out there for a quick second, then we'll be done. Thanks again for coming into the shop of AC Custom Designs. And here it is. Isn't that awesome? Okay, here's our drawers. And here is our stand for the phone. You can just set that right down in there and then do what you got to do with that. So, all right, thanks again for coming into the shop of the Poly Shed of SE Custom Designs. All right, here's our new cards for this year. And as always, it's a pleasure. If it's your first time coming to my channel, welcome aboard. There's 400 plus, I lose track, videos of a variety of things. Whenever, for example, if I show this in my shop, if I see it and I think about it, I'll talk about such things. Now, I'm not a salesman for any of the products, and neither am I sponsored by any of the companies. I'd love to be, so please contact me if you'd like that to be a thing. I would love that. All right, thank you guys for coming into my shop. As always, it's a lot of fun. Take care. God bless.